What if I told you that there's a miracle in the Bible where the sun literally stands still? No nightfall, no sunset, simply extra daylight. It's right in the middle of Joshua, chapter 10 to be exact. Here's what's happening. Israel has entered the promised land under the leadership of Joshua, and God has already proven his power to the Israelites and to Joshua, as he has time and time again. He's already defeated the Battle of Jericho. He's already led them through the Jordan River. And now 5 Amorite kings unite to attack Gibeon. Now, this is interesting because Gibeon has already made peace with Israel. And so instead of these 5 kings attacking Israel, they go and attack Gibeon. Joshua hears about it and he rushes to their safety. But before Joshua and the Israelite army even get there, God speaks to Joshua. Starting in verse 8, God says, "Do not be afraid of them, for I have given you victory over them. Not a single one of them will be able to stand up against you." And so the battle begins, and then God shows up in a very, very powerful way, starting in verse 10. The Lord threw them into a panic, and the Israelites slaughtered great numbers of them. And it doesn't stop there. It continues in verse 11. As the Amorites retreated, the Lord destroyed them with a terrible hailstorm. The hail killed more of the enemy than the Israelites killed with the sword. Here we find that God is literally fighting Israel's battle for them. But the battle isn't over and time is running out. If nightfall comes, Joshua fears that the enemy will be able to flee and he won't be able to catch them. And so Joshua does something very unique, very powerful. He prays a prayer that only God could answer. Have you ever prayed a prayer that no man could answer, but only God could answer? This is Joshua in verse 12. Let the sun stand still over Gibeon and the moon over the valley. And then in the very next verse, God answers and the unthinkable happens in verse 13. So the sun stood still, the moon stayed in place until the nation of Israel had defeated its enemies. Verse 14, there has never been a day like this, one before or since, when the Lord answered such a prayer. Surely the Lord fought for Israel that day. Here's the big takeaway, that Joshua didn't have a little safe prayer. He didn't pray something that he by his own strength could answer. He didn't even pray something that he by the strength of his army could answer. He prayed a prayer so big and so bold that it required God. When was the last time you prayed a prayer so big, so extravagant that only God could answer? Hey, if you loved this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. We'll see you next time.